U.S. Citizenship Test, Part 3, Guardians of Liberty.
The days were growing shorter, but Mark's understanding of the complex machinery behind American democracy was deepening with every session. He had come to see his lessons with Anne as more than just preparation for a test. They were an exploration of what it meant to be part of a nation where freedom was carefully guarded by its institutions and people. As Mark entered the familiar study room for his third lesson, he felt more prepared than ever to take on the next chapter of his journey toward citizenship. Anne greeted him with her usual warm smile, her stack of papers already neatly arranged before her.
Good to see you, Mark. How are you feeling about everything so far?
I'm feeling good. Every lesson seems to connect more pieces of the puzzle, and I'm starting to see how everything fits together.
That's what I like to hear. Today, we're going to focus on the safeguards that protect the freedoms we've been talking about. We'll discuss rights, how they are protected, and the institutions responsible for defending those rights.
I'm ready.
Question: what is the Bill of Rights? A. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution. B. The preamble to the Constitution. C. A list of all U.S. laws.
Answer A. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution.
Correct. The Bill of Rights guarantees certain fundamental rights and freedoms, such as freedom of speech, religion, and the right to a fair trial. Why do you think it was important to include these rights right at the beginning of the Constitution?
I think it was to make sure that individual freedoms were protected from the start, so the government couldn't take them away.
Exactly. The founders knew that for the government to truly serve the people, it needed clear limits on its power. The Bill of Rights was designed to prevent the government from infringing on the personal freedoms of its citizens.
Mark thought about how important those first 10 amendments were. They weren't just abstract concepts. They were real protections that impacted the daily lives of people. He had already begun to appreciate how these rights were safeguarded, but there was more to learn.
Now, let's talk about how these rights are defended and the people responsible for ensuring they're upheld. Question: what does the Supreme Court do? A. Reviews laws to ensure they are constitutional. B. Makes laws. C. Enforces laws.
Answer A. Reviews laws to ensure they are constitutional.
Correct. The Supreme Court reviews laws and executive actions to determine whether they violate the Constitution. Why do you think this is such an important responsibility?
Because the Constitution is the highest law, and if a law goes against it, it can harm people's rights. The Supreme Court makes sure that doesn't happen.
Exactly. The Supreme Court acts as a guardian of the Constitution, ensuring that no law or action taken by the government infringes on the rights that the Constitution protects. This keeps the balance of power in check and protects individual liberties.
Mark admired the idea that even laws passed by Congress or actions taken by the president could be reviewed. It showed how seriously the system took its responsibility to protect people's freedoms. Anne shuffled her papers and moved to the next topic.
Now that we've covered how laws are reviewed, let's shift focus to something you'll need to understand once you become a citizen: the importance of voting. Question: what is one amendment that specifically deals with voting rights? A. The 19th Amendment. B. The 10th Amendment. C. The 5th Amendment.
Answer A. The 19th Amendment.
Correct. The 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote, which was a monumental step toward equality in this country. Why do you think expanding voting rights has been such a central issue throughout American history?
I think it's because voting is how people have a say in their government. If certain groups are left out, it's like they don't have a voice.
Exactly. Voting is one of the most direct ways people participate in democracy, and the fight to expand voting rights has been about ensuring that every citizen's voice is heard. Over time, various amendments, like the 15th and 19th, have expanded these rights to include more groups of people.
Anne leaned back in her chair, signaling that the lesson was nearing its end. Mark felt more connected than ever to the system that had been built to protect the freedoms and rights he would soon enjoy as a citizen. He understood now that these protections weren't just handed out. They had been fought for and defended over generations.
You're making excellent progress, Mark. Today's lesson was about understanding how rights are protected and expanded. As you prepare for your citizenship, remember that the institutions we've talked about are there to ensure that those rights remain intact.
Thank you, Anne. I've learned so much about the balance between freedom and responsibility. It's amazing how these systems have been designed to protect both.
Exactly. As you continue to prepare, keep in mind that being a citizen means not only enjoying these rights, but also contributing to the protection of them. You're almost there, Mark.
As Mark stepped outside, the air felt cooler, and the sky was painted with shades of orange and pink from the setting sun. He thought about the lessons he had learned today, about the Supreme Court, the Bill of Rights, and the ongoing struggle to expand voting rights. Soon, he would not only be learning about these rights, but exercising them himself as a full-fledged citizen. The weight of that responsibility filled him with both pride and anticipation. As Mark reflects on the importance of protecting individual rights, consider this. How do institutions like the Supreme Court ensure that democracy remains fair and just for everyone?
Question for the audience: what does the 19th Amendment guarantee? A. The right to a fair trial. B. The right to vote for women. C. The right to bear arms. Expanding voting rights has been a key part of ensuring equality and participation for all citizens.
Here are 5 words and phrases related to the theme of U.S. Citizenship Test. Part 3. Guardians of Liberty.
Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution guaranteeing fundamental freedoms and protections. Supreme Court, the highest court in the United States, responsible for interpreting the Constitution and reviewing laws. Amendment, a change or addition to the Constitution. 19th Amendment, the constitutional amendment that granted women the right to vote in 1920. Liberty, the state of being free within society from oppressive restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life, behavior, or political views.